Morning everyone. My name is Laura Stranks and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. Just going to do, it's not a really short video today, but I think you'll find it's worthwhile watching. This is called the Teabag Fold Christmas card that I'm going to show you how to make. This is the main feature on it. We've also, a friend of mine, we did this at a retreat a couple of weeks ago, so it's quite nice. She designed the box and the card design. It's been around for a little while and we've just revamped a few things on it. It's a normal card base with the tree on the front and decorated, and then the little box, it's just a standard box which I can show you how to make, and it fits neatly inside that so you don't crush your tree feature at the front. It's nice to put it in a little box. Makes a lovely little gift for someone. You could even put a gift card in there inside the box. So we'll get started straight away, and I'll show you a couple of other things at the end of my video. I'll just put all this aside. We'll start with the card. That's what I've got on top here, and I've written out all my measurements and cut all my bits for you so it won't take as long. My card base, which I've done, the paper I'm using is the Lights Aglow DSP, and I'll go through all of that with you as we go along. My front mat is a standard size card base here in Australia. It's half an A4, which is the little mark on mine. If you can see this here, the little mark just before the 15, which is 1.9 centimetres, 1.49 centimetres, 14.9 centimetres. So it's just the little mark before the 15 centimetres, and then you turn and score it at 10.5 centimetres. So that's half your A4 cardstock. Your other half's down here. You can, if you're making two cards, you can score straight down the middle at 10.5 first, and then just cut it in half and gives you two bases. So that's my base, and I've used soft succulent for that one. My front mat, I have chosen the Evening Evergreen, and I'm missing, the front of this is the same as this one, but inside I've left off this red, so I've made your white piece inside a little bit bigger. The corner pieces, these little die cuts, they're so cute. There's two different sorts. This one's the fancy one, and there's a plain one as well. They come from the Fabulous Frames dies. Beautiful little dies. Just sets off your card front if you want to put some little corners on it. And this little greeting here, I've got a few stamp sets I'm using today. This one, Christmas Blessings to You and Yours, comes out of the Mistletoe Magic, and I've just cut the frame out of my stitched rectangle dies. That will go down the bottom. My tree is going to go in here. That's how that cuts out. It's just one die, and it cuts out the four corners for you when you put it on there. The other one hasn't got all this little detail. It's just got four plain corners, but they're very cute to use. That's that one. I'll leave that up there. I've embossed this mat at the front with I'm not sure if it's a current folder, but you could use any mat. It's called gingham. I just wanted a little subtle pattern in the background. So we'll put all that aside. We can put these little corners on first, and I'll just get my silicone mat. The main part of this is the tree. I've cut most of the pieces and folded some of them. Well, I've cut all the pieces, I should say. Folded some of them, but I just want to show you the best way to fold each of your pieces. And once you've done one, it doesn't take long to work out how to do it. It's quite simple. When I first saw the card that my friend brought along to the retreat that she'd already done, I thought, I'm not sure on folding. I'm not a fan of origami, so, but it was not hard to do, and it's such an effective little card when it's finished. I'm just going to put these corners on first because they're not going to affect anything else on the card. I think I've got everything out ready today. Some days I just rush in and start. I am recording this and it'll upload when I schedule it to upload. So you will be seeing it when it's ready. Hopefully I won't take too much of your time. I know everyone's busy at this time of the year with Christmas and Christmas shopping. I haven't even started mine, but our family is doing a Secret Santa. So we only have to buy one gift each. I think there's about 12 of us in the family that are going into it. And we're going to the value of, I think it's $100. I'll wait and see. I haven't checked my email for a while. And we've each put in suggestions, a couple of suggestions of what we would like, so that they don't just buy any old thing. And we did stipulate no gift vouchers, but that might end up changing. I like gift vouchers as well, but for this I thought it should be a nice gift to put under the tree. So I won't put that on there just yet. That's my inside, and I've gold embossed that with this Christmas lights stamp here, and gold embossed just up the top. I didn't put a greeting inside, but we'll fold this base so it's ready to go once we get our tree done. Bone folder. And I'll just leave that sit there. I'll put the inside piece in, which I'm going to use my snail. Hoping it works well this morning. It has been once you get it started. And I think it's got plenty on to last right the way through. Sometimes I run out in the middle and then I go to the glue. And I've put those little detailed stars and spots at the top. Just line that up nicely in there. This piece measures 5, and I'm back to inches now because I work in inches most of the time. It measures 5 5/8 by 3 7/8, and so did the front green piece. That measures the same, 5 5/8 by 3 7/8. And if you go down another mat, if you're putting something else on top of that, you just go down 1/4 inch on 2 sides, and that'll give you the 1/8 inch border all the way around. So that's that piece. Now I'm going to show you how to fold these pieces, and I've left the large one and the small one till last. And your measurements, all they are is little squares. The measurements for each, the largest one, which is this one here, it's 3.5 inches square, 3.5 by 3.5. Then the next one is 3 by 3, which is here. I've got them all tucked in here. I've already folded that one. 3 by 3, and then 2.5 by 2.5, 2 by 2, and I think I've already folded the smaller one. Yep, I have. That's all right. This one measures 1.5. That's 1.5 by 1.5. The smallest, oh, that is the smallest one, sorry. 1.5 by 1.5. And then 2 by 2. I'll just unwrap that. I think I've got 2 the same. Oh no, that's 2 by 2. It's deceiving once you've folded it up. I'll just fold that back where it should be, which we need to poke that in there, and that in there, and that goes flat there. Note to self, don't unfold it once you've folded it. There we go. Right, now what you're going to do, and I scored these, you can free fold them if you like, but I preferred to score. It gives you a nice crisp edge on them. You're scoring from each corner, from that corner to that corner, and that corner to that corner. Then you score in half. So this one's 3.5. So I think you can see it on that side. You can't see it as much. I tried to score really lightly. It's 1 3/4. Half of 3.5 is 1 3/4 that way, and 1 3/4 that way. Score. So you've got a crossover and two straight parallel lines, horizontal parallel. Then you're going to fold. So you're going to fold on these corner ones. I don't know whether I might just score that again. I don't think I did score it, or if it is, it's not very heavy. And I'll show you how we did it. So we're going from that point to that point, and I'll just do it lightly again because there is a bit of a mark there. That way and this way. You can just leave your paper down and straighten it up if it's not in the track. Just straighten it up before you score. Then you're going 1 3/4, which is half of 3.5, and you go that way, and then 1 3/4 this way. So it's pretty much scored in half all the way around. So that's that one. Now we can see the score lines. So you're going to fold this in here from point to point. Give it a nice burnish, and then fold it backwards again, and burnish it again. Just gives it a bit more flexibility. Then we'll go this way on the point to point. Make sure your points are right in the corner. Even if your score line wasn't right in the corner, try and make them, push them so that they're right in the corner. That one's pretty good. And back the other way as well. Doesn't matter which way you fold first. These are sort of directional, so I'll show you when I'm finished how I worked it out to fold. Then you're going to fold this way on one of those score lines. You're basically folding on all the score lines, and fold it this way on that. Make it nice and straight and burnish. Then you're going, now my loops on this paper, the Lights Aglow paper, the loops are like this. So that's how I want them on my, or this way, it doesn't really matter. But so long as the loops are across, not up and down this way. So I'm holding it this way, fold it in half on the horizontal. Then just push those side piece, that score line there, push it inwards. And the same on this side, push it inwards. Get the point nice and straight at the top, and then burnish that. So far, so good, easy. Then, now this one's the easiest one because it's the big one. Be patient with the little one because it can be frustrating. I put my fingernail, if you haven't got a fingernail, you can use your bone folder, and just put it up in that top corner. And then pull this over so that this line here, down that edge, is parallel with the center score line. You can see the center score line there. Give it a good push over till it's level with, and your point is still up at the point at the top, and the bone folder. So you end up like that. If it tips back, just give it a little pull over and burnish it while it's sitting there, and make sure it's straight down on the line. Then the same on this side. Just crease it in that point, pull that over, so it's, and it'll run parallel with that center one that you've just folded, and you'll go like that. You won't see some of those points. We're going to cover them up with some embellishments and things. So that's what it should look like when it's finished. That's the back, which is where we're going to glue. That's the biggest one. Now the little one is exactly the same. I've scored this one, so we're going to fold on the diagonal, and this one can be a little bit fiddly, but being paper, with the paper, it's not too bad. You wouldn't be able to do this with cardstock. You can use any paper. On this other card that we did, wherever I put it, over here, that was out of one of the current DSPs. I think it's a carryover DSP from last year. Prefer to use green because trees are green, so I would use a green colour paper, unless you want maybe gold or white. You could do a white tree as if it's like covered in snow. Then we're going to fold these again this way across the horizontal and vertical. Fold it that way and that way, exactly the same as we did that first one. And you do all of these the same, just work out your half measurement to score. Now we're folding it, my lines are going that way, so I'm going to fold it like that. I'm going to push these in, same as I did the other one, and push this one in and crease it down. All nice and straight. Now this is the hardest bit. If you pull that, you only want one piece, not both. Pull that across. Just keep wiggling it till you get it in place. It's not too bad. You wouldn't want any smaller than this one. You would never fold it. And then the same on this side. Just push your finger or your nail. If you've got nails, I have got nails. These are my own nails. Not false. Proud of my nails. I actually cut them last night because they were a bit long. So that's exactly the same. And you've got the tiny one. You probably won't get it as fine, but that point up there, I'm going to put some embellishments on that, a little gold dot at the top, so you're not going to see it if it's a little bit out of whack. So then we're going to use our grid paper, and I want these in order. So you've got your biggest one at the bottom and going up to the smallest. Now, if you line that up along your grid paper so that the line under here, this here, is parallel on a line. Slide this one in, and we're just going to put some glue at the top of this. I think this is what we did. Can't remember now, but this will work. So just put a bit of glue up the top there. Then slide this in, trying to keep it straight. I'm going to line it up there. I should have my silicone mat down. And I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3. I think I did three squares up. It's up to you how tall you want your tree or how far. I've gone up 1, 2, 3 squares. I'll move it up 1. We've got 3 squares up before the glue sets, and just try and keep it on your parallel with your score lines so it makes it fairly even. You can line up this middle, I'm probably out of view here. So I've gone up 3 squares. I think that one was the same. I'll just measure it to there. Yes, it is. So we went up 3 lines. Oh no, there's no glue there. Don't put too much glue. It doesn't take much to hold it under there. Then the next one's the same. Going to put a bit of glue at the top here. Slide this one on. You can slide it on before you put it down, so you don't put put this line on one of the grid lines and move that 1 to 3 line, 1, 2, 3 squares up. That way you'll get them all nice and even. Line it up with the center. Move that up a fraction. Doesn't have to be spot on, but close will be nice to make it look nice and even. Give it a good push down to hold, and you can see our tree forming. With glue on the back. Slide that on. Slide it up between those two back pieces. Sit it down across the score line, which mine went perfectly straight. Up 3, 1, 2, 3. That's the beauty of the Tombow. You can move them around a little bit. I wouldn't try to use tape or anything on this. We are going to put some dimensionals underneath some of the layers to hold them up as well. That one and the last one. Actually, I can see through that silicone mat, so I could, it doesn't matter if you get a bit of extra glue on the back, because this whole thing is going to get glued to the card base anyway. So then we're going to put this last one on. Just line it up. I can see through that. I'll line that last one up. Whoops, I've got glue everywhere there. Don't need that just yet. We'll slide that one on first. And up 1, 2, 3. Up there. 1, 2, 3, yes. And straighten them up. I think my tree's a bit higher. Oh no, just a fraction, not much. No, it's fine. It's exactly the same. Just move that one around a bit so it's a bit straight. And that's your tree. How easy is that? Now, I'm going to put some, and I'm going to put them on before we put the tree on the front of the card. I've got some. You can use the bigger dimensionals at the bottom, and I'm going to slot it in just under this these two top layers, and it'll hold that together as well, and in that little spot in there at the front. And we'll get this. I'll take the back off first because it's easier to get in, and hopefully we can get it in. You could take the back off after. I'm just going to put that on there, slide that up in there. Actually, I think it goes, how do we have a look? Yes, it is the top layer. Slide it up so you can't see it, but it will hold those two layers. I don't know if you can see it in there. You can't. It's down in here, and I've moved it right up so you can't see it, and it's holding those two parallel lines together there. I can use this one, another big one at the next level. Hello to Annette if you're watching. Thanks for the idea for this one. I'm just poking that in under there. I'm going to push those two panels together so then it holds it nicely in there. And we'll do another big one, and then we'll do two small ones at the top. They're a little bit big, the bigger ones. Keep losing that one. I'll poke it in there. I think we did use a big one at the next one, but I'm going to use a little one. I think a big one's a bit too. So you've got your mini dimensionals, or you can cut, if you don't have these, you can cut one of the smaller ones. Take the back off first. It's easier than trying to get the back off inside. Well, I think it is anyway. It's up to you. And poke that in under that first level, underneath the creased top layers, and push it in the center, and then push it down on top of, push your two top layers down on top, and it'll hold it together. My top one is a little bit crooked. It's not too bad. And another little one for the top. A little bit fiddly, but once you get this bit done, it's pretty much easy going. Oh, I didn't get the back off. Thought I had it. So we'll push another one up in that last layer. That one's a little bit fiddly to get in there, but poke it up as far as you can and push the top layer down. Just holds it all nice and neatly. like so. That one in there is not quite in the centre. I'm going to put another little one on the other side of that because I haven't got it in the centre and I can't pull it out, so I'll put another little one over the other side. They're a little bit fiddly when you don't want them to be. I'm going to put one over this side. So it was supposed to hold it together, but so long as it's holding it down. So that's the tree. Then all you have to do is put your tombow, and I'll get my front, put tombow over the back of this. Not a whole lot, although I don't normally just put tombow on top of something that's embossed because it doesn't hold, but this one will be fine once we push it down hard. Hold enough to keep it there. So you've got tombow all over the back of that. Do out on the points. That should hold it. Then we'll centre this. I don't normally like to put, well, I don't put my mat on there until I've got all this done. If you put it on and then something goes wrong, you've mucked up your whole piece. Yes, that's the right way. Thought I had it upside down. Now I'm going to put it up, not right to the top, because I'm going to put some embellishments up there. And I've also got my greeting to come in down the bottom, which is here. Just make sure I've got enough room for that. I'll go up a little bit because I'm not using a bow this time. That one's got a little bow on the top. This one I'm going to put just some gold gems. I'm going to use little gilded gems on the down the panels, but the top one I've got my new swirls, gold swirls, but I didn't want to use that many all over this. I think it was a bit of an overkill, but I do want some gold swirls on it. So that's that tree. It will sit flat eventually. That one's had a bit of stuff holding on to it for a while. That top one keeps moving, but we'll fix that. You can straighten it as you go. All done. Then I'm going to put you can make this as high as you like because it's going in a box, so there's plenty of room in the box. I'm going to put dimensionals on my greeting. I do like my dimensionals. And I've got, as I said, a gold swirl to put on the top. All these are in this, the greeting's gold embossed, so is the inside of the card. I just thought it looked nice with the gold because the gold was on the paper. There is a dark green. I'm going to slot that into those little grooves in there, which line up quite nicely. And I'm going to use snail on the back of this, so it'll hold a little bit better. You can use tombow, you can use tear and tape, whatever suits you. With the box, when I get to the box, it will be put together with tear and tape. All my boxes I put together with tear and tape. I will line this up on the front. My base is the same colour as the tree. Like so. I was nearly going to put some red on this, but I thought I'd keep it all into the greens and golds. That's that one. And now my embellishments, I've got these. I'll put this is the new gold swirls in the Festive Florets set, and there's two sets in the suite. These are called gold adhesive back swirls. Very, very pretty. And I'm just going to put one on the top up here, right at the very top. And then I've got, these are gilded gems, which are now retired, but I bought a lot when they first retired. So I'm going to just put a few on this. You could put a bow at the top. You could put a star at the top. I think there is stars in the Lights Aglow stamp set that you could use. I'm scattering these so they're not all in line. Don't want them all lined up. And they're retired, so I can use them up. Go over here. Gold goes nicely with lots of colours. I use a lot of gold. In my Christmas cards. Move it over there a bit. Needs some up there. Very glittery now. Bit of an overkill with the embellishments, but I don't mind. And we need one at the top here. Just in there. And that's my tree. Green and gold. And then we've done the inside. So that's all done. So that's the card done. Now the box should be really quick. And what I've chosen, I think I've got it all ready here. Everything's going apart. Leave that there. We'll leave this here. And I've made it the same colours. The stamped greeting is out of this Christmas banners set. It's that long one there. It fitted nicely on what I'm doing. And the words are all separate. So you've got Merry Christmas. You've got Merry down here and Christmas. So you can put them on any of the labels. This one here fits nicely with 'Tis the Season or Just for You. Fit nicely across that one. And they are a curved stamp as well. Oh, that's the paper. My Lights Aglow paper. Lots of pretty colour. I haven't used the black for any. I don't think I've used the black. I've used a lot of the others. I might get another paper before it's finished. Now we'll start with the base, and this is my standard way of doing a box, as you all know. This base measures 6 1/4 by 8 inches, and what I do so that the lid fits nicely, I cut a smidge off, which a smidge for me is just down on that grey line of the trimmer. So I'm just going to put that on there, and it's off 2 adjoining sides. So I'm going to put that down on that line, cut that off, and that's your smidge cut off. And 2 adjoining sides. You don't want 2 of the same size, otherwise it's going to be too tight one way and too loose the other. So 2 adjoining sides, cut a smidge off each. And I do that before I score, always before you score, otherwise it won't work as well. So then I'm going to score at 1 inch, which is the height of my box here, 1 inch on all 4 sides. I didn't do any of this beforehand because I like to show you that trick with cutting the smidge off. Just lining that up on the top. You can use the other side of your trimmer as well. It goes across to 1 inch. So that's my base. I'll get back to that in a sec. Now the lid, because it's, and I know I didn't cut any of these bits, I'll cut some later. I'll decorate it later. I did forget those bits. I can quickly cut them in a sec. Because I want the base of the box showing, this here is 3/4 of an inch in width. So that worked this out by the time you add 2 lots of 3/4 on both sides. And I took the lid bit off. It measures 5 3/4 by 7 1/2, and you're just going to score at 3/4 of an inch on all four sides. Don't cut any off, don't cut a smidge off, because you only do that on your base. So you've got 3/4 of an inch on all four sides. To make a box, all you do is measure the side pieces, the height you want, plus your length, and the same with the width. Double the height, because you've got two sides, two top and two sides, and that's how you make a standard box. If you just measure the size of your item that you're going to make it for, and just go from there. So I'm going to burnish all these. Sometimes I burnish after I've cut, but I'm going to do it this way this time. I will quickly cut some side pieces for this. I've got the measurements there. I just forgot to cut them. I'm going to put them in that the light green. So that's that. Now when you cut, and I do this methodical around the edges, I'm going up to there, notch that little tab. We shall get a dish out to let the scraps fall into, and then go across to the other one. This is a little bit different to a reinforced lid. This one's just a straight lid, so you just got the one tab. I won't confuse you with explaining the other until we did one on the last video. You can always go back and watch that one. So you're just doing the same on all four corners. Go from one corner across, or you can do the ends across, but don't just turn it, keep turning it to do your tabs. This way they keep them all nice and even. So that's that bit. Now, with it facing upwards like this, like a mountain, you're going to put some tear and tape on your tabs. And I'm going to use the lid of my Tombow. I'll put that down there, move that up. This is my little trick with my tear and tape. I think some of you may have seen it before. Much quicker than cutting, and I don't like freehand tearing. I think at half the time it doesn't tear straight for me, so this one is a quick way of doing it. Just use the lid of your Tombow to hold it and give it a flick. So all four corners with your tear and tape. This box is just specifically for this size card, so you could use it for any card actually, although the envelope, if you're putting it in an envelope, which you wouldn't if you're making a box for this sort of card, a standard card that's got a bit of height, if you want to make a box, this fits a standard size card. The PDF for this will be in my tips and tutorials page after it's gone up live. I'll take these off. Actually, I'll hang on a sec and I'll put this on. We'll make sure we don't hit that. I'm going to decorate this before. Now this should fit in here. This piece is front mat embossed. Oh no, that's the thing. I haven't. The measurements are on the PDF for this. It's 1/4 of an inch inside that, 1/8 of an inch on each piece. And I'm going to use some tear and tape on. Oh, I can use snail actually. It'll be a little bit quicker. This is just embossed with that same gingham folder. I'm just going to centre that on the top. The measurements for this piece, I didn't write them down, but they're on the PDF. So once you watch this, you can hop on and have a look at the PDF for all your measurements. Then I've cut, which the ribbon should have gone under that. We'll see if we can get it up a bit. Actually, no, I won't bother. I'll put a bow on the top. I'm going to put it this way this time. This box goes this way. I should have put the ribbon underneath that, and I forgot. So we shall just make a little bow for the top of the tree. Actually, I'll show you my bow maker. This will be better. We can do a double bow and just a tiny one. Excuse me. The number of times I've forgotten to put ribbon on something. Unbelievable. And I know the girls at my class do it as well, so we're even. So this is my little bow maker. It's really quick, and you can do as many loops as you like. This is just a double one. I won't explain how it works, but if you get one, it'll give you instructions with it. I just looped it. Actually, I will show you. You just put it as far apart as you want. So I only want, well, that's the smaller one. It's a bit too small. You get these pegs with it. So I'm just doing the second size up. Hold it even on the length of your ribbon. Just wrap it around so you've got 2 loops on each side, like that. Cross it over at the front. Push the one in your left hand down. I'm right-handed, so it's the one in my left hand going down under. This one in my right hand comes up over the top, and you tie a knot at the back. Well, I just tie one tie at the back. You can tie a knot, but it makes it a bit bulky. And then just center it up in the center and pull it tight. Slip it off, and then we have this cute little bow, like so. How cute is that? And you can make 3 loops if you like. I'm going to trim the ends of that with my ribbon scissors when I find them. I have separate scissors for my ribbon that are nice and sharp. Got a piece of ribbon around the tail, so I'll just cut those up. This wasn't planned, but it'll work out just nicely. Now this tree was cut out of the stamp set, the Christmas lights stamp set. There's an outline of a tree, and there's also a detailed image as well. So I've just cut that, and I also cut a piece of cardstock with the same die and put the DSP on top. I've glued the 2 together just to make it a little bit thicker. I'm going to sit that up on dimensionals to make it a bit prettier wherever they are. I'm getting in a mess here. Put some dimensionals on the back of this. The little bow makers, you could make one yourself, just a block of wood with some holes and pegs stuck in them. I think I've had that for years now. I think I got it online. It was only a couple of dollars, and it comes in handy. I'll just cut this one at the top. I think it's a little bit big. Put that in there. Don't waste that. Stick it in there, and we'll put that. I was going to wrap the ribbon around like that other one, but that's fine. We'll do it this way. The box I did last week, I showed you how to wrap ribbon around the entire box. Now I have got a greeting that's going on this one, and I'm going to just put it at the bottom like so. So this can go up pretty much close to the top. And then the glue dot for the bow. I always like glue dots to put my bows on. They're quite strong. Probably could have done the darker green or a gold. I have got gold ribbon, but this one's really nice to tie a bow. So that'll be nice there. I'll put a couple of embellishments on that. This here I'm going to sit up on dimensionals as well. So the top bit there will just scrape the bottom of the tree. And so we shall put these down the bottom. Plenty of room. Away. Stick that one over there. I think that'll be enough. So we'll just sit that across. It just fits in the, actually I'm going to, no I won't tip it. Sometimes I tip it. It just fits in the width of the box. It's a little bit overhang, not too much. Like so. If you're giving it to someone, it won't matter if it's overhanging a little bit. Then we shall take these bits off and put the lid together. The base takes even less time because I will go and put, actually I can cut them now. The video's gone a bit too long, but just be patient with me and I shall cut some of these bits for the sides. We'll get out this sheet so we've got the pattern running the right way. Now we want the measurements 2 of 1/2 inch by 5 3/4, and I want the pattern running that way. So my 1/2 inch is going to go this way. We want 2 of 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and 5 3/4. Put the two together, 5 3/4. It's only 1/4 of an inch longer than the DSP. So that's those two longer sides. We can put them on before we assemble the box. And the other is 2 of 1/2 inch by 4 inch. So we're going to go the same way, 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. Always be mindful of your direction of your DSP if it's directional. And we want 4 inches. We'll cut that off under there. And I might use a bit of Tombow so we've got a bit of wiggle room because they're quite narrow. If I stick it and it's in the wrong place, and I've got the loops running that way. This is the 4 inch side. These are going to go along here. I've taken the backs off so everything's sticky under my fingers. Just centre those on there. Now that's going to be, no, it's the right way. I'll flip that. Yes, we want it that way. I should have my silicone mat underneath me, but we're running a bit late, so I shall be quick. That's those two. You don't have to put decorations on the sides if you don't want to. I do like to finish everything off nicely. I'll go that way. And one more if you put all these bits on while your box is still flat, it is so much easier than when it's folded up into, with the tabs folded in. Even though I took the backing off the tabs, you can work around that. Then all we've got to do is line these up in the corners, push them together so it's nice and straight along that edge. And that's the lid of our box. Different to what I intended, but it's not too bad. I'll put a couple of embellishments on the, I don't know how many we've got left of those little ones. We'll put one big one. Actually, we'll use some of the big ones. Just 3. That will be enough. There's no overkill with embellishments. So that's the lid of my box. And then the base, which will only take a few minutes wherever I put it, which is the same colour. Do the same with this, and there's no decoration on this, so you're just going to cut up your bits. Your tabs, I should say. Up that one, notch. I've been so busy the last couple of weeks. I'm doing a market stall on a Friday night. I'm going to a nursing home to do I volunteered to do a couple of cards with about 20 of the residents there. All they've got to do is assemble them. That will be fun. I did one once before and I had a few dementia patients and it was a bit of a struggle, but the lady that's running it this time has assured me they should be okay. So, but I've got a fair bit of patience, so we'll fold all those. As you can see, I didn't fold before I cut, but that's fine. There's my bone folder buried under all this rubble. Lucky you can't see the side of at the side here. I've just chucked everything over here. I try and keep it in order so I can find things. But we're going a bit late today. Well, not late, it's just that I know I don't like when the video goes too long. But it's well worth it for this one. Next week's I've got one designed and it's going to be really quick. Just a quick little idea for Christmas. I'm sure everyone's looking for Christmas gift ideas. So stay tuned for the following Monday. I go live every Monday morning at 9 AM Queensland time. We're not on daylight saving, so it'll be, I think it's 10 o'clock for the rest of Australia. I do like daylight saving, but we don't have it here. Well, not this year, maybe one year. My tips and tutorials page, which I shall show you when I'm finished, it is, you can have a look on there, all my PDFs and the cards and boxes that I do, the measurements and instructions and everything are on there, and the samples of the cards. And then I have a Facebook page which is called Cards by Laura. Hop on there, all my projects that I've ever done over the years, cards that I'm doing for markets. There's no PDFs on there, it's just samples of my cards. If you'd like to have a look, PM me if you would like any of the ideas, and I have got a lot of instructions for some of them, but not all of them, but I can soon tell you how to go ahead and do them. So this base is just exactly the same. Pull up all the 4 corners and push them nice and level on the corners there. Don't have them in too far, otherwise your box won't fit together. So that's the base. The card goes in there, and that's the lid. And as you see, because I took the smidge off, I'm hoping I've got it right. Takes a little bit to just get it started. And that's the lid. Fits all nicely on there. A couple of bits hanging off, but it's all nice and tidy in there. And that's my different one. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope I didn't take up too much of your time. But have a go. I'll place up the PDF straight after this video. And where did I put, oh, the card's inside, I think. No, yes it is. I'll take that back out. I'm sure anyone would love to see that. I think it should have had a little bit more glue on that. And that is it. I'll just mention this one's not going together as well. So this is the what my tips and tutorials page looks like. If you go in there and type in Laura's Craft Room Tips and Tutorials on Facebook, and you can hop in there and have a look. Subscribe to my channel if you're interested in looking at any of my videos. It's called Creative Gems, and if you hit the subscribe button, you'll be notified when I go live with my videos. And then my Cards by Laura page, this is the header for that. It's a Facebook page, Facebook page. The other one's a group. It's called Cards by Laura, and you're quite welcome to hop in there and join that one as well. And that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed that today, and I'll catch you all again next week. Have a lovely week. Bye for now.